This video is about the teacher was mocked but a millionaire bought him a company. If this story inspires you, please like the video, share it with loved ones, and write in the comments how it touched your heart. In a small town nestled between rolling hills and wildflower meadows lived a teacher named Samuel Hart. He was not a typical educator. He had a passion for literature that radiated like the sun on a cloudy day. Samuel believed in the transformative power of words and the beauty of human connection. His classroom, a cozy nook filled with colorful posters and wooden desks, was a sanctuary for students seeking refuge from the chaos of their lives. Yet, as the school year unfolded, Samuel found himself facing an unanticipated battle. The town, with its tight-knit community, had grown cynical over the years, dismissing dreams that soared too high. Samuel's students were largely from families that struggled to make ends meet, and many had developed a hardened outlook on life. They mocked his ideals, tossing around phrases like fairy tales and unrealistic dreams. Some even went as far as to say, "What is the point, Mr. Hart? This is just a dead-end town." But Samuel, unwavering in his belief, continued to weave stories into their lessons. He introduced them to the world of classic Shakespeare, Hemingway, and Morrison, and urged them to see beyond their circumstances. He believed that literature could spark hope and illuminate paths previously obscured by doubt. One dreary Tuesday morning, the autumn wind howled, rattling the windows of the schoolhouse. Samuel noticed a flicker of disinterest among his students. As they shuffled into the classroom, he sensed the weight of their burdens pressing down on their spirits. This day, he decided, would be different. "Class, today, we're going to talk about resilience," he announced, his voice steady but warm. "Everyone has a story, and every story has the power to inspire." A student named Lisa, known for her sharp tongue, scoffed. "Resilience? You mean pretending everything yes okay while it falls apart?" The laughter that erupted from a few classmates stung Samuel's heart. "Not quite, Lisa. It is about finding a way to rise, even when life pushes you down," he replied calmly, trying to hide the slight tremor of disappointment in his voice. "Let us read a passage from A Tale of Two Cities when Charles Dickens wrote about sacrifice and redemption." As the words flowed, Samuel watched their expressions shift. The laughter faded, replaced by a contemplative silence. He knew he had reached at least a part of them. With every line he read, he wove a tapestry of resilience that began to resonate, urging them to see that even the most challenging circumstances could lead to something beautiful. Days turned into weeks, and while the mockery softened, Samuel still faced challenges. The town's budget cuts threatened his beloved literature program. He attended town hall meetings, passionately defending the importance of the arts, but faced indifference. "Books won't pay the bills," a local councilman said dismissively. Frustration mixed with despair threatened to consume him, yet Samuel clung to hope like a lifeline. He organized after-school reading sessions, inviting students to share their thoughts. Slowly, they began to open up, their stories revealing layers of pain and aspiration. He learned that Lisa's home life was chaotic, her mother working multiple jobs to keep food on the table. Deep down, Lisa craved a way out, a glimpse of a brighter future. One evening, after an especially moving session where students shared their dreams, Samuel decided to reach out to the community. He created a social media page, Words That Mend, where he posted snippets of their stories, their triumphs, and their struggles. Within days, the page gained traction. People began to share their experiences, and a wave of support started to pour in. "Mr. Hart, we got to see this," one of his students, Alex, exclaimed, showing him a phone buzzing with notifications. Samuel felt a tinge of excitement as he scrolled through the comments, filled with empathy and encouragement. Yet, a part of him wondered if it was enough. As the weeks went by, Samuel's efforts began to attract attention beyond the town's borders. He received messages from former students who had moved away, now successful in their careers, reminiscing about the impact he had made on their lives. One message stood out. A former pupil, now a millionaire entrepreneur named Marco, remembered how Samuel's passion for literature had ignited a spark in him. "Mr. Hart," Marco wrote, "you believed in me when nobody else did. I want to give back. Let us meet." When they met, Samuel was taken aback by the transformation in Marco. The once shy boy had grown into a confident man, full of energy and ambition. Over coffee, Marco shared his journey, detailing how he had built a sustainable tech company from the ground up. Samuel listened, a mix of pride and nostalgia washing over him. "Mr. Hart, I want to help keep your literature program alive. I know how much it meant to me," Marco said, his eyes shining. "I want to buy the rights to a company that can provide resources for your classes, books, materials, everything you need." Daniel's heart raced. "Are you sure? I mean, it is a big commitment." Absolutely, Marco insisted. You taught me that dreams are worth chasing. You showed me the power of words. Let me help you pass that on. That evening, Samuel returned home with a heart full of hope. What had once felt like an insurmountable challenge was beginning to shift. As he lay in bed, he thought about the possibilities that lay ahead for his students, books that could open their eyes to new worlds, stories that could inspire resilience, and opportunities that could change their trajectories. But as dawn broke over the town, bringing with it a fresh breeze of possibility, Samuel also knew there would be hurdles to overcome. The town had nurtured skepticism, and many would question Marco's intentions. But with every ounce of his being, Samuel believed in the power of kindness and community. Tomorrow, we start with a new chapter, he whispered to himself, envisioning the faces of his students, filled with curiosity and excitement. Little did he know, this was just the beginning of a journey that would not only elevate their dreams, but also bind the community together in ways they never imagined. As the sun rose higher, casting golden rays over the town, Samuel felt a flicker of hope igniting within him once more, a reminder that sometimes the most profound change begins with a single act of kindness. As Samuel stepped into the classroom the next morning, a sense of anticipation filled the air. His students were already buzzing with excitement, eager to share the news they had heard from their peers about Marco's generous intentions. He smiled to himself, knowing that this was not just about the materials or books. They were on the brink of something transformative. "Good morning, class," Samuel greeted, his voice warm and inviting. The students responded in unison, but it was Alex who broke through the chatter, eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "Mr. Hart, did you hear? Everyone is talking about the new resources we'll be getting for our literature program. It is all over social media." Samuel felt a swell of pride as he looked at Alex, remembering the shy boy who had once struggled with confidence. "I did hear, Alex. Then I think it is a wonderful opportunity for all of you, but more importantly, it is a reminder that our stories matter." Lisa, sitting in the front row, crossed her arms defiantly. "But what if we don't deserve it? People like us don't get nice things, Mr. Hart." Samuel paused, feeling the weight of her words. "Lisa, the world can be harsh, and sometimes it feels like we are unworthy of kindness, but kindness isn't reserved for the deserving. It is a gift we give ourselves, a chance to see our worth." The bell rang, and as the students settled down, Samuel launched into a lesson about the importance of narratives, both in literature and in their own lives. "Today," he said, "we're going to write our own stories, where we come from, where we want to go, and how we can inspire others as we journey forward." The classroom buzzed with a renewed energy, and as the students began writing, Samuel walked around, kneeling beside each desk to offer encouragement. He noticed that Lisa had her head down, biting her pencil. He gently touched her shoulder. "Having a tough time, Lisa?" She sighed, looking up at him with vulnerability shining through her tough exterior. "What if I can't come up with anything? What if my story isn't good enough?" "Every story is good enough," he assured her. "It is yours. The beauty lies in your honesty, right from the heart." As Lisa began to write, Samuel felt a renewed sense of purpose. He knew that sharing their stories would empower his students, helping them to understand their value and place in the world. Weeks passed, and the news of Marco's support began to ripple through the town. The local paper featured an article about the upcoming partnership, highlighting the importance of arts in education and the commitment to uplift the community. This was a pivotal moment for Samuel, yet he also braced himself for the inevitable backlash from those who remained skeptical. At the next town hall meeting, he stood before the council, heart-raising. "I believe in our students and their potential," he said passionately. "Marco's generosity is an opportunity to ignite hope and change. We can show the world that investments in education yield beautiful results." But the council members were not easily swayed. "And what about our economy?" the one elder councilwoman retorted. "We need jobs, not dreams." "Jobs grow from dreams," Samuel countered gently. "Investing in these kids is investing in our future. They're the next generation of leaders, thinkers, and dreamers who will lift this town up." After a lengthy, intense discussion, Samuel left the meeting feeling a mix of triumph and disappointment. He had planted a seed, yet he understood that some minds would take longer to change. Back in the classroom, the atmosphere was filled with excitement as the students prepared to showcase their stories. Samuel had organized a community event, inviting parents and locals to witness the power of their words. As the day approached, he felt a flutter of nerves. This was more than just a reading, it was a chance to bridge the gap between dreams and reality. On the night of the event, the school auditorium buzzed with energy. Parents, community members, and even a few skeptics filled the seats, their expressions ranging from curiosity to skepticism. Samuel stood backstage, his heart pounding. He glanced at his students, who were nervously adjusting their notes. "Remember," he said, stepping forward to address them, "this is your moment. Share your truth and let your voice be heard. You have the power to inspire change." When it was time for the readings to begin, Samuel stood by each student, providing a supportive presence as they took turns at the microphone. One by one, they shared their stories, tales of hope, struggle, dreams, and resilience. Lisa's voice trembled slightly as she began. "I used to think dreams were for other people who had it all together. I thought I was just meant to survive, but Mr. Hart showed me that my story matters, and I can write my own ending." Tears glistened in the eyes of many in the audience, including a few council members who had come skeptical but left changed. As the night progressed, the warmth of connection filled the room, and Samuel realized that they were creating a ripple effect that reached far beyond their small town. When the readings came to a close, applause erupted, echoing in the walls like a heartbeat. Marco stood up, beaming with pride, and addressed the crowd. "What I witnessed tonight is the power of community and belief. I am honored to support this program, and I urge all of you to get involved. Together, we can make a difference." The room erupted in cheers, and Samuel felt a profound sense of gratitude. This was not just about him or Marco, it was about the spirit of the community rallying together, fueled by dreams and hope. In the weeks that followed, Samuel worked tirelessly to integrate the new resources into his curriculum. The literature program flourished, with an influx of novels, art supplies, and even workshops led by local authors. Students who had once felt marginalized began to find their voices, and the classroom transformed into a vibrant space of creativity and inspiration. One afternoon, as he watched Lisa lead a group discussion on a novel, Samuel reflected on how far they had come. Her confidence radiated, and he couldn't help but smile at the transformation. "Mr. Hart," she called out, "do you think we can start a book club? We could invite people from the community to join us." "Absolutely, Lisa," he replied, his heart swelling with pride. "That's a brilliant idea. Books have a way of connecting us, and your enthusiasm will inspire others." Excitement buzzed in the room as they began to plan the book club, which would serve as a bridge between students and community members. Samuel felt a renewed sense of purpose. They were not just reading literature, they were shaping the future together. One evening, as he prepared to leave school, Samuel received a call from Marco. "Hey, Mr. Hart, I've been thinking, wouldn't it be great to host a community literary festival? Let us bring everyone together to celebrate the power of stories." Samuel's heart raced. "That's a fantastic idea. We could feature workshops, readings, and even local vendors. It could be a real celebration of our community." "Exactly. Let us meet tomorrow and start brainstorming," Marco replied, enthusiasm evident in his voice. As they worked together on the festival, Samuel saw Marco's passion ignite similar sparks in others. The town, once draped in shadows of doubt, began to come alive with creative energy. People reached out, offering their talents, skills, and resources. On the day of the festival, the town square transformed into a bustling hub of activity. Banners hung proudly, and laughter filled the air as children ran from booth to booth. Samuel stood at the entrance, welcoming everyone with a smile, his heart swelling with hope. As the day progressed, he watched his students shine, facilitating workshops and sharing their stories on stage. The connection between the community and the school deepened, breaking down barriers and fostering a sense of belonging. By the end of the festival, Samuel felt an overwhelming wave of gratitude wash over him. The event had brought together not just books and resources, but a renewed sense of purpose for the entire town. As the sun began to set, casting a warm golden glow, he gathered his students around. "Today was incredible," he said, his voice teeming with emotion. "You have shown the world that dreams are worth pursuing and that we can rise together, no matter our circumstances." Lisa stepped forward, her eyes shining with determination. "And we'll all keep writing our stories, Mr. Hart. This is just the beginning." In that moment, Samuel realized that they were no longer just a teacher and his students, they were a community filled with dreams, resilience, and hope. The journey had not been easy, but together they had forged a path of belief and possibility, igniting a fire that would continue to burn brightly in their hearts. As they stood together, hand in hand, he felt the beauty of the human spirit, the strength to rise, the kindness to uplift, and the courage to dream. And with that, he knew the stories would echo far beyond the confines of this small town, inspiring others to believe in the transformative power of words and connection. As the weeks rolled into months, the ripple effect of the Community Literary Festival became a source of inspiration that reached beyond Samuel's small town. The energy of creativity ignited not only in the hearts of his students but also throughout the entire community. Samuel watched as the passion for literature transformed their collective spirit, changing lives one story at a time. Yet, amid this blossoming hope, challenges still lurked in the shadows. Financial instability loomed over the school district, and skepticism from some community members lingered. Samuel knew that to truly sustain the momentum they had gained, they needed to rally together for a common cause. One afternoon, as he sat in his classroom, poring over budget proposals and outreach plans, a knock on the door interrupted his concentration. It was Lisa, her eyes bright with excitement. "Mr. Hart, guess what? I got my mom to agree to come to our next book club meeting. She asked bringing my little brother too." Samuel felt a wave of joy wash over him. "That's amazing, Lisa. Your enthusiasm is contagious. What book are you planning to discuss?" She grinned. "We're rereading The Giver. It's about memories and choices, and I think they'll really connect with it." "That's a wonderful choice. I think your mom will see just how powerful stories can be," he encouraged, his heart swelling with pride. As Lisa left, Samuel realized how much she had grown. The once guarded girl was now a beacon of light, showing others that it was okay to hope, dream, and engage. Days later, during the next book club meeting, the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Samuel watched as Lisa led the discussion with confidence, engaging her peers and inviting her mother to join in. "I never thought I'd enjoy reading," Lisa's mom admitted, her voice tinged with hesitation. "But hearing you all talk about it makes me see things differently. You should come to the literary festival next year," another student chimed in. "It was so much fun, and we learned so much." Samuel couldn't help but smile, appreciating the transformative power of their shared experiences. But in the back of his mind, he struggled with the persistent worry of budget cuts looming over the school district. One evening, he decided to attend another town hall meeting, hoping to advocate firmly for the importance of supporting the arts in education. As he entered the crowded room, he noticed several familiar faces: parents, community members, and even a few students. As the discussions commenced, Samuel felt a mix of anxiety and determination. "Good evening, everyone," he began, heart pounding. "I want to speak about the future of our students, the future of our community. We've seen how our literature program has sparked creativity and resilience. It's more than just books, it's about fostering hope." A voice from the back interjected, "But what about our budget? We can't afford to throw money at things that don't bring jobs." Samuel inhaled deeply, gathering his thoughts. Investing in literature and the arts cultivates critical thinking and creativity, essential skills for the future job market. We must foster a love for learning in our students. Let us not forget these are the leaders of tomorrow. The debate continued, voices clashing, but Samuel stood his ground, bolstered by the support of his students and the community members who had witnessed the change. After the meeting, Marco approached him, the lines of concern etched on his face. "Mr. Hart, I could sense the tension tonight. What can we do to address these budget concerns?" "I think we need to show tangible results, highlight the positive impact of our programs. If we can get more community members involved, it could change the narrative," Samuel replied, taking a moment to consider the next steps. A few days later, inspired by the conversation, Samuel organized a literature in a park event. The goal was to showcase student projects, invite local authors for readings, and encourage residents to engage with the arts. The day dawned bright and sunny, a perfect backdrop for the gathering. Samuel arrived early, setting up tables with colorful displays of students' creative work, poems, essays, and illustrations that reflected their journeys. As families began to arrive, Samuel felt a sense of nervous energy coursing through him. He watched as Lisa and her classmates showed their families around, explaining their projects, their voices filled with pride. "Mr. Hart, look!" Alex shouted, pointing to a group of local business owners gathered around one of the tables. "They were really interested in our stories." "That's fantastic," Samuel replied, his heart soaring. "Remember, this is about sharing our experiences, connecting with one another." As the day progressed, community members engaged with the students, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. Parents began to see the value of the literature program not just in their children's lives but in the fabric of the community. By the time the sun began to set, Samuel stood before the assembled crowd, feeling a swell of gratitude and pride. "Thank you all for being here today. Our students have shown that literature is not just about reading, it is about connecting and understanding ourselves and each other. Together, we can create a brighter future." As applause echoed, Samuel's heart brimmed with hope. The event had been a resounding success, a testament to the power of storytelling. He couldn't help but glance over at Lisa, who was beaming with pride as she spoke animatedly with her mom. But as they celebrated their achievements, the shadow of the budget cut still loomed. Samuel knew they couldn't rest on their laurels. They needed to continue advocating for the arts and ensuring their voices were heard. One evening, Samuel received an email from the school district outlining proposed budget cuts for the upcoming year. His heart sank as he read through the details. It was worse than he thought. The arts program faced severe reductions. "Mr. Hart." Lisa's voice broke through his thoughts as she entered his classroom. "Are you okay? You look worried." "Just some tough news about the budget," he admitted with a sigh. "It seems our literature program is in jeopardy." "Can't we do something?" Lisa asked, determination lighting up her eyes. "We can rally everyone together again. You taught us how to speak out." Samuel felt a flicker of hope reignite within him. "You're right, Lisa. We need to organize our voices, not just for ourselves but for all the students who benefit from this program." With Lisa's enthusiasm as a catalyst, it quickly began to plan another community outreach event. This time, the focus was on mobilizing support for the arts program, gathering signatures, sharing stories, and rallying the community to advocate for their shared passion. In the weeks that followed, Samuel and his students worked tirelessly, reaching out to local businesses, organizing workshops, and creating visual displays of the impact of the literature program. They invited students from other schools to join their cause, creating a network of support that spread far beyond their small town. On the day of the advocacy event, the town square overflowed with families holding signs that read "Save the Arts" and "Literature Matters." Samuel stood at the front, watching as his students took center stage, sharing their stories and the importance of literature in shaping their lives. Lisa stepped forward, her voice ringing clear. "When I thought my dreams were impossible, Mr. Hart showed me that I could write my own story. We all can. We just need the chance." The crowd erupted into applause, and as Samuel looked around, he felt a wave of love and solidarity enveloping him. This was the power of community, coming together to uplift one another, fueled by hope and resilience. In the following weeks, the response from the community was overwhelming. More and more residents stepped forward, showing up at town hall meetings, writing letters to the school board, and sharing their own stories of how the literature program had impacted their families. Finally, the day arrived when the school board would make its decision. The room was filled with tension as Samuel sat with his students' heart racing. One by one, community members took the stand, passionately advocating for the arts. When it was Samuel's turn, he stood up and looked at the faces surrounding him. "Our literature program is more than just a class. It is a lifeline for so many students. It teaches them to dream, to connect, to understand that their voices matter." As he spoke, he saw Lisa nodding along, determination shining in her eyes. "With every story we share, we're rebuilding a community bound by hope and resilience. We can't let that slip away." When the board finally announced the decision, a wave of relief washed over the room. The arts program would remain intact thanks to the voices of the community that had rallied together in support. Samuel's heart soared as he looked around at his students, their faces alight with joy. Lisa jumped up and hugged him tightly, tears of happiness streaming down her cheeks. "We did it, Mr. Hart. We fought for our stories." "Yes, we did," he replied, filled with a sense of fulfillment. "This is just the beginning. We'll continue to fight for our dreams and for each other." As the weeks turned into months, Samuel watched as the literature program flourished, with new resources and opportunities. The students' confidence blossomed, and a newfound sense of pride spread through the community. And on a sunny afternoon, as they gathered in the school courtyard for celebration, Samuel marveled at the transformation they had undergone. Balloons floated gently in the breeze, each a vibrant reminder of their collective journey filled with dreams, determination, and the promise of new beginnings. "Today is a celebration of us," Samuel announced from the makeshift stage, looking out at the sea of familiar faces. Parents, students, and community members filled the courtyard, their smiles reflecting the warmth of a shared victory. "We fought for our stories, and we've shown that together we can make a difference." A round of applause erupted, and Samuel felt a swell of gratitude. He glanced down at Lisa, who stood proudly beside him, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "You think we can keep this momentum going, Mr. Hart?" she asked, her voice brimming with hope. "You bet I do, Lisa. We've proven that our voices matter," he replied, the corners of his mouth turning up. "And let us not forget, this is a reminder that our stories can inspire others too." The students began to share their own stories on stage, tales of struggle, resilience, and the power of words. Samuel felt a profound sense of pride. He couldn't help but remember the early days of the school year when doubts ran rampant and dreams felt out of reach. Those very stories, each a thread in their collective tapestry, were now a lifeline to hope. After the celebration, Samuel noticed a few parents lingering, whispering among themselves. As he approached, he overheard snippets of conversation. "Did you see how much confidence they have now?" The one mother exclaimed, her voice thick with emotion. "I never thought my son would get up there and speak like that." Another parent nodded earnestly. "It's amazing what believing in our kids can do. We need to keep supporting this program." Samuel stepped closer, introducing himself. "I am so glad to see so much enthusiasm. Together, we can keep nurturing this passion for literature and creativity." One father, his arms crossed, looked skeptical. "But can this really lead to something? What is the long-term plan?" "Absolutely," Samuel replied, his enthusiasm unwavering. "The skills they're redeveloping through literature, critical thinking, empathy, communication, these are essential for their futures. We're replanting seeds for not only their dreams but for our community." The father's expression softened. "I see what you mean. My daughter will love writing her story. Maybe I should give it a try." "That is the spirit," Samuel said, beaming. "Let us explore that together. I'd love to hear what you come up with." Days turned into weeks, and as the community rallied around the program, they began to brainstorm ideas for sustainability. Samuel organized workshops for both students and parents, exploring everything from creative writing to public speaking, fostering a culture of collaboration. One afternoon, as they gathered for a workshop, Samuel noticed Lisa's mother, who had been a bit hesitant at first, now actively engaging with other parents. She was sharing tips, laughing, and even encouraging others to write their own stories. "Mr. Hart, look at my mom," Lisa whispered, nudging him. "I can't believe how much she has opened up." Samuel smiled. "That's beautiful to see, isn't it? You've all become beacons of inspiration for each other." Just then, a familiar face stepped through the door, Marco, his heartwarming smile lighting up the room. "Hey, everyone, I am here to share some exciting news." The chatter subsided as the students and parents turned their attention toward him. "I've been working hard to secure funding for our new initiatives, and I am thrilled to announce that we've received a grant to expand our literature program even further." Cheers erupted, and Samuel felt a rush of hope. The room buzzed with excitement, and he took a moment to let the news sink in. "This means we can offer more workshops, host guest speakers, and even organize a writing competition." Marco continued. "I want to encourage all of you to keep sharing your stories and inspiring one another." As Marco spoke, Samuel felt a wave of gratitude wash over him. Marco wasn't just a former student, he had become a partner in this journey, amplifying their voices and dreams. Later that week, Samuel organized a brainstorming session with Lisa and a few other enthusiastic students. "Okay, everyone, let us come up with ideas for our writing competition. What themes do you think would resonate?" "Hope and resilience," Lisa exclaimed, her eyes wide with excitement. "We can inspire others through what we've experienced." Another student, Alex, chimed in. "What about voices of our community? We could invite people to share their stories, too." Samuel nodded, filled with pride. "Those are fantastic ideas. Let us make this a celebration of all our stories, yours, your families, everyone else. We'll create a booklet featuring the best submissions, showcasing the power of our word." As they continued to brainstorm, Samuel felt a spark ignite within him once more. The dreams were becoming tangible, and he realized they were not just building a program, they were weaving a strong community fabric that would last for generations. The weeks leading up to the competition were a whirlwind of activity. Workshops flourished, and the enthusiasm spread like wildfire. Parents began to share their own stories with their children, fostering deep connections and understanding. Samuel saw families bonding over the written word, and the classroom transformed into a sanctuary where dreams collided with reality. Finally, the day of the competition arrived, and the air buzzed with anticipation. The auditorium filled with eager faces, students, parents, community members, all excited to witness the power of storytelling. As the event commenced, Samuel stood at the podium, his heart pounding in rhythm with the excitement in the room. "Welcome, everyone. Today is a celebration of our stories of triumph, struggle, and hope. You'll hear from your peers, and I encourage you to listen with open hearts." One by one, students took to the stage, sharing their heartfelt pieces. Lisa's story focused on resilience, detailing her struggles but ultimately portraying a path of hope and determination. The room fell silent, captivated by her courage. "Mr. Hart taught me that my voice matters, even when I don't believe it," she concluded, tears shimmering in her eyes. "And I hope that by sharing this, I can inspire others to find their strength." As applause erupted, Samuel felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Each student's story was a testament to their growth, testaments of vulnerability that connected them all. After the readings, the audience was invited to share their own experiences, and the room transformed into a sharing circle, a beautiful tapestry of voices woven together. Parents stood up, one after another, recounting their challenges and how literature had shaped their lives. There was laughter, there were tears, and there was healing. As the last speaker concluded, Samuel sensed an unspoken bond in the room. He stepped forward, his voice steady but filled with emotion. Each of you has contributed not just to this event, but to the fabric of our community. You've each shown that stories have the power to heal, to connect, and to inspire. As the event drew to a close, Marco took the stage once more. I want to thank each and every one of you for your courage today, and as a token of appreciation, I am excited to announce that we'll be publishing a booklet of selected stories from this competition, showcasing your incredible voices. The audience erupted in cheers, and Samuel felt the weight of hope lift off his shoulders. This was more than a writing competition, it was a movement that could change lives and bring the community closer together. In the following months, the booklet was published, filled with stories of resilience and dreams. Samuel watched proudly as students shared copies with their families, their faces glowing with joy as they realized their words would reach beyond their small town, impacting readers far and wide. Yet, amid the celebration, Samuel remained grounded, aware that the journey was ongoing. He continued to engage with the community, advocating for the arts and ensuring that the flame of creativity burned brightly. One evening, as he sat in his classroom, reflecting on the year's events, a knock on the door interrupted his thoughts. It was Lisa, her expression earnest. "Mr. Hart, I was thinking, what if we could turn our stories into a community project? Like, we could create a mural or a public art installation that showcases our journey together." Samuel felt a spark of inspiration ignite within him. That's a brilliant idea. Lisa, art and literature are intertwined, and this could be a wonderful way to celebrate our community as resilience. Together, they began to plan envisioning murals that would depict themes of hope, dreams, and connection. They reached out to local artists and community members, inviting everyone to contribute their ideas and talents. As the months rolled on, the project took shape, and the mural became a vibrant representation of their journey, a beautiful blend of images and words that depicted the strength of their community. The day they unveiled it was nothing short of magical. When the curtain fell away, gasps of awe filled the air, and Samuel felt a swell of pride. The mural stood as a testament to their resilience, a colorful tapestry adorned with stories that intertwined and uplifted each other. Standing before the mural, Lisa turned to Samuel, her eyes shining with gratitude. "We did this together, Mr. Hart. You showed us that our voices matter, and we can create change." "Yes, we did," Samuel replied, feeling the warmth of her words resonate within him. "This is just the beginning. Our stories will continue too."